Hello and welcome to this webinar. The agenda for today is to give you a brief presentation of the application Purchase Backlog Management and show its key features. Afterwards, there will be a demonstration of the application in RamBase, and at the end we will finish off with a Q&A session. My name is Ronny Taipale and I will be the presenter for today. Please note that the webinar will be recorded, so if you have any questions, feel free to write them in the chat or save them to the Q&A session at the end. I also kindly ask you to mute yourself during the presentation and unmute by the end if you have any questions or comments. The Purchase Backlog Management is a multifunctional supporting tool that is designed to help the procurement department. Its main features is presenting any deviations on active purchases, and it has been designed to easily initiate corrective actions directly from the application. The application can also be used to get insight on all the active purchases. The term deviation in this setting is the number of days the date of delivery requested or confirmed comes after the date of consumption. This is what the Purchase Backlog Management looks like in RamBase. In this presentation, we will divide the application into 3 sections and go through each of them. These are the header field, the table, and the side view. Let's head over to RamBase to see how this works in practice. The Purchase Backlog Management can be accessed through the side panel. Go to Procurement, Order Handling, and Purchase Backlog Management. The application can also be accessed by writing PBM in the Program field. The header field holds the main filters for location, purchase group, and suppliers. These main filters are made to accompany workflows where the purchaser only focuses on a particular location, purchase group, or supplier at a time, or in combination. For example, purchases toward one supplier for one location. It is also possible to include purchase requisition by checking Include Requisition box. Purchase requisitions are not included by default. The header field also has a quick search. It's made for easily searching through the backlog list, for example, searching for a specific product, or searching for a specific purchase order. Note that in this instance, searching for a specific purchase order resulted in a purchase order response. This is because the purchase order response is the forwarded purchase order that was searched for. This list shows which fields the quick search searches through. Note that, apart from quick search, the header filter stays between instances. This means that when exiting and entering the Purchase Backlog Management application, the filter is the same as the last time. Alright, heading over to the document table. When entering the application, the table will always be filtered to only show purchases that are active with deviation, given that there are no active filters in the header field. This is mandated by the 2 buttons in the table filter. Deactivating the items arriving late button shows all active purchases, and also deactivating the backlog items results in a list of all purchase items. The table also has the advanced filter field that can be used to create own customized filters. For example, I can create a filter that only shows my purchases. This is quite handy if each purchaser is only responsible for their own purchases. If this is a filter that's often going to be used, it can be saved as a filter in the filter builder. Let us see an example of that. Press the funnel icon. The filter builder has already included a filter expression that were written. This can now be saved and activated. Another button has appeared, which when activated filters on only My Purchases. Note that the created customized filter are only available for the current user. Moving on. The purchase document table itself lists the purchase items sorted on the registration date and holds a good amount of information. For each of the items, pressing the diagonal button in the second column opens the document that holds the specific purchase item. The columns have their own tooltips, and the same applies to the values in the table. The table is quite flexible, being able to resize and change the ordering of the columns. The columns can also be sorted. As an example, by pressing the deviation earliest column, the list is sorted on the items with the biggest deviation in days between request and consumption. Another example is sorting on the confirmed delivery date column to get a glance of all purchase items that does not have any confirmed delivery date. It is possible to add and remove columns with a cog icon. Note that there are a lot more columns fields to choose from. And especially note the highlighted notification at the bottom. Checking this enables the overlay that shows the last notification directly into the table. The notifications are also searchable, and although it's only the last notification that is shown in the table, the search goes through all of the notifications. Lastly, the two buttons in the table can be used to quickly forward purchase order response or request for change. By multi-selecting several purchase items, it is also possible to forward all of them at the same time. But this is for the time being only available when selecting purchases from the same purchase order. Now let us have a look at the side panel. The side panel consists of three tabs. The first tab, Stock Information, holds supplier information, stock information, available stock for each location, note to supplier, which is collected from the purchase order, and the notifications. Notifications are linked to the purchase order item, and by adding notifications here, it adds the notification to the purchase order itself, thus being linked and the same everywhere. The last two buttons functions the same as the button we saw on the table. Forward to purchase order, response, and request for change. The second tab is the Purchase tab. that holds information about incoming purchases, the supply, and the demand for a specific item. This calculates the availability for each item for each week and shows how the availability changes over time. You can look further into the future by clicking the arrow keys on the right side. The last tab holds any custom fields that have been created. Before we round up the demonstration, I would like to note that in this application there is an app tour which goes through much the same as in this presentation. Documentation has also been created, which can be found at RamBase Knowledge Center at help.rambase.net. Thank you for your attention.